4K breast pumping tutorial. Pro tips for new moms. Welcome, mama. In today's video, I'll guide you through how to use a breast pump properly, so the process is both comfortable and effective. Stick around.
All rise. Judge Vunda B. Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1030, Armstrong case.
Thank you. You're welcome. You all may be seated. Okay, Mrs. Armstrong.
Yes, Ms. Judge.
Okay, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Miss Tally over here, we decided to have a baby together about 3 years ago. And we got a divorce. And now I just need her to pay some child support.
Okay. Well, you guys are going through a divorce, right?
Well, yes, sorry, we're going through a divorce. I wish it was over already. But I've been paying health care for a long time, ever since the baby was born.
How much is the health care?
It's $111 a month.
Okay.
This baby is 2 years old. We've been together for about 3 years, and I just, that's a lot of money.
All right, folks, let's dive into another compelling child support case. Mrs. Armstrong has come to court seeking financial support from her ex-partner, Miss Tally, for their 2-year-old son, Alex. She explains that she's been footing the bill for Alex's health insurance and believes it's time Miss Tally contributes financially. But Miss Tally has her own concerns. She's not just here to talk money, she wants more time with her son, arguing that parenting goes beyond writing checks. The judge takes it all in, noting the underlying tension between financial duties and parenting rights. With both sides firmly planted, this case is about to get interesting. Let's see how it unfolds.
And you want her to pay child support?
And I need that money.
Okay, she needs that money. You don't want to pay that money?
No, ma'am. Instead, I want to spend time with this child. She's not allowing me to see my son, Alex, for the last 1.5 years.
Okay.
I mean, I have an amazing 2-year-old son that I'm being denied access to see. And I do not believe that I should be paying child support. Rather than I should be able to spend time with my son and actively be in his life.
Okay. Is there a reason you have not been allowing her to see Alex?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, Judge, I feel like time is not money. And,
Well, stop. Hold on. It's not money. But you would agree with me that she is the mother, right?
Yes.
Okay. And would you want for her to deny you access to Alex?
Well, it would be
It's
different.
a yes or no?
No.
Okay, then. So, you do not have a reason to not allow her to see her son.
But she doesn't help me take care of my son.
Now, financially, we'll get to that in a moment. She's not going to have a choice if the child is living with you primarily. Is that what's
Correct.
going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how often do you allow her to see him at all?
No.
Okay. Now that's going to change today. You do not have any authority to do that. You do not have it both ways. You can't say, I want her to pay this money, but at the same time, I don't want her to see our son. It doesn't work like that.
Well, once she starts paying me some money, then she can also start seeing the son.
Well, they don't go together.
Okay.
The possession to a child has nothing to do with paying child support. You do not decide that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because in a different court, you could actually be held in contempt for that if you all had a court order and you were denying her access to your son. You understand that, right?
Yes, Judge.
Mrs. Armstrong presents her argument. She says she's been Alex's primary caregiver and has paid $111 each month for his health insurance. What frustrates her is that Miss Tally hasn't offered any financial help, and she wants that to change. But there's more. Mrs. Armstrong also admits she hasn't allowed Miss Tally to see their son for the past 1.5 years. The judge takes note, especially of the imbalance between money and access. Mrs. Armstrong's focus on finances over co-parenting raises serious concerns, and the judge isn't shy about pointing that out. Now it's Miss Tally's turn to respond, and the tension is building.
Now, as for you, you'll be able to see your son, but you do understand that you have to pay child support as well.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you do not have any objection to paying
No,
child
ma'am.
support. Okay, so you heard that, right? Okay, all right. So it seems like money is what's important to you, not necessarily her having a relationship with the child. That's right?
Yes.
And that's sad. And it's very sad that you admitted it. Okay, so you turned in some tax returns up here. I have your gross at $6,000 a year. And how many children? It's just Alex, right?
It's just one. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any other children outside of Alex?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So that brings your net down to $4,789.79 for one child. And then you do have to reimburse her health insurance because she's been paying it. You're okay with that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you don't really have a choice, so okay. Plus the 111 comes out to $1,069 a month.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No, ma'am, Miss Judge.
Okay. Why do you have this smirk on your face?
Oh, I like those numbers. Judge Rhonda.
Sad. She's not going to have to come back in here and say, you know, she's not letting me see my child or anything like that, is she?
So when she sees the child, do I have to be around?
That's a no, because you're not gonna do that, right? You're gonna let her see the child.
Do I have to be around her when she comes? She has to come pick the child up, like for a weekend?
Yeah, however she picks him up.
Miss Tally steps forward and makes it clear she's not against paying child support. But more than that, she wants meaningful time with her son, Alex. She accuses Mrs. Armstrong of using financial support as leverage to control access to their child. The judge quickly steps in to clarify. Child support and parenting time are legally separate issues. Then, turning to Mrs. Armstrong, the judge warns that blocking Miss Tally's access to Alex could carry serious legal consequences. Miss Tally reiterates her willingness to support her child financially, but she also wants to be a real parent, not just a paycheck. Emotions run high as both parties struggle to find common ground.
I mean, you guys have a child, so you should be able to be cordial with each other to some extent. You don't have to necessarily like each other, but you do need to let her see.
The child.
Huh?
It has to be able to benefit the child. I mean, you have to look at Alex's best interest in his life. He needs both of his moms as life. You can't just deny one.
What's the least of amount of time that I can let her spend with my child?
You know what? We're not going to go there. You're going to let her see him, and that's the end of it. You have your money, right?
Yes.
Okay then. So do you have any other questions? All right. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
As the hearing wraps up, the judge lays out the key legal principles and